The Laws of Ascension, Chapter 57, Drinking. What was that flash for? Cyrilda asks as the door opens. Leora and Lorik walk in and she smiles upon seeing them. Ignore that, I didn't think you'd see it, Lorik says as they walk over and sit down. It's kind of hard to ignore something like that happening in the castle. King Eldrin says with a smile, causing Lorik to sigh. It was a photo stone. Lorik replies, Why'd you take a picture outside the door? Sarah asks. Lorik said it was for bragging rights? Leora replies a bit confused after Lorik doesn't answer. I thought you said you already took a picture for bragging rights? Why'd you take another? Vera asks him. I did, but I wasn't in it. As you probably know, those photo stones cover you in light. So if you're too close to the stone, you'll appear as a white ball of light instead of anything else. So I couldn't take a picture of myself. The picture I had before was just one of the inside of the castle. Since Leora was there, I had her take one while no one was around. This way those bastards can't claim that I had someone else take it. Lorik replies. Lorik, Cyrilda says in a serious tone, changing the tone of the conversation. You have my sincere apologies for tricking you into drinking the soul-relaxing tea. She says while lowering her head. It's fine, Lorik says with a sigh. I can understand your reasoning behind it, but I'm absolutely holding this above your head from now on. He adds, causing her to sigh while sitting back up. Since you brought it up, what was the reason for drugging me with the tea? He asks. First of all, it's not drugging since the tea isn't a drug, Cyrilda says, causing Lorik to nod. But it just goes in one ear and straight out the other. But the reason was you performing acupuncture. That's a Calvaris technique that only those from Calvaris know. So you basically declared to us that you knew someone from Calvaris. Since Torvin is from Calvaris, it's clear he taught you. But we needed to give you the tea to be sure. Cyrilda replies. Damn, Torvin, you need to tell me this shit sooner. Lorik mutters, causing his sister to smack his shoulder. Language, she sternly says, causing him to look at her confused. After a moment of silence, Lorik gets up. He reaches out and mist pours off his ring. What are you doing? Leora asks him as a barrel appears from the mist. If this is how today's chat is going to be, I'll need something to help get through it. Lorik replies while pulling the lid off the barrel. Inside it's full of a dark red liquid, mist pours off his storage rings, and a large wooden mug and ladle appear in his hands. He scoops the liquid out with the ladle and puts it in his mug. Once it's full, he puts the lid back and stores it away. He takes a sip before sighing in satisfaction. Worth every coin, he mutters while sitting back down. What's that? Leora asks, suspicion filling her voice. Juice, Lorik replies without hesitation. What kind of juice? She asks while crossing her arms. The kind that gets you drunk off your ass. Lorik replies before taking a large swig of his mug. You said before you've drunk before. Do you drink booze often? Cyrilda asks, curious and concerned for her disciple. Not too often. Mainly during any kind of celebration or if I'm depressed. I'm doing it now to help me get through this chat. Lorik replies. What kind of booze is that? Rowan asks, causing Sarah to hit his arm. Are you planning to try some? She asks him while glaring. No, but my father's. You know, he likes to drink and collects various types of alcohol. I've seen his collection before, but I've never seen one that's such a dark red before. Rowan replies. I'm not surprised. This is custom made. There's this group in the black market that got their hands on a device that uses the law of time. They're using it to speed up the aging of alcohol. This barrel was aged for 20 years in just 10 months. Of course, they charge an arm and a leg, but it's worth it. As for what it's made of, I had them use demon fingers as the main ingredient. They gave me a lot of lip since they had to hire 3 people to taste test. Since it's so strong on top of the demon finger spice, it burns like hell. Well, it will if you don't like the spice. Lorik replies, causing Vera to lean over. She's sitting on Lorik's other side and sniffs the mug. Can I try some? Vera asks, surprising the others. Vera, I didn't think you were one to break the law. King Eldrin says, jokingly surprising her. What do you mean? She asks. Sorry, I was trying to make a joke. King Eldrin says before clearing his throat. For us humans, the drinking age is 21, so unless you are 21, you can't buy or consume alcohol. But I know for you demons, the drinking age is 18, he explains, causing her to nod. The others calm down a bit upon hearing this. Then sure, take a sip, Lorik says while handing the mug to Vera. Lorik, how old were you when you first drank alcohol? Leora asks, causing Lorik to flinch. If I said on my 18th birthday, would you believe me? Lorik asks her, causing her to smirk. Nope, Leora replies as Vera tries the alcohol in the mug. Her eyes go wide and she starts chugging it. Lorik quickly grabs her arms and lowers the mug. Slow your roll. This is some strong shit, he says, causing her to chuckle. Sorry, it just tasted a lot better than I thought, Vera replies before passing the mug back to Lorik. Lorik, could you give me the recipe for that? I'd like to try making it and using it in the trades with the Moonfell Island Demon Tribe. King Elding asks. Sorry, but no can do. In order to prevent their customers from going elsewhere, they don't give me the recipe. All I told them was to use demon fingers as the main ingredient, so I don't know what they did. Lorik replies, causing him to sigh. Lorik, how old were you? Leora asks with a cold smile on. You just don't drop your questions, do you? Fine, I first drank when I was 13. Torvin was having a small gathering for us Night Eyes and there was wine. I didn't realize it at first and just grabbed one to drink. It wasn't until I got drunk that people realized I was drinking wine. I didn't drink again until I was 16, though, Lorik replies. Oh, like that's so much better. How about you stop drinking entirely until you turn 21? Leora says, causing Lorik to scoff. How about no? Lorik replies. How about yes, and I won't embarrass you by telling these people about your childhood, Leora replies. Go ahead, I'll tell them about all your Leora moments at the Institute, Lorik says, causing her to scoff now. Like hell you know about all of those. She says, causing him to smirk. I know everything that happens at your institute. I've got a night eye keeping tabs on everyone there. Lorik replies, causing King Eldrin to lean forward. What was that about a spy at my institute? He asks, causing Lorik to flinch. King Eldring, you need to fire that bastard Oswin. You should know I have questionably obtained documents stating that he just delegates all of his work. Instead of working himself, he just spends all day dicking around. He even creeps on the students. He's just lucky he didn't mess with my sister. Otherwise, he'd end up like Garen. Lorik says, causing Cyrilda to spit out her tea. Were you behind Garen's case? She asks, causing Lorik to laugh. Garen's case? What's that? Vera asks, confused. Garen was a student attending the Arcathan Institute. He was a womanizer and was constantly skipping classes, but he was a foreign prince to a neighboring kingdom. As such, we couldn't just kick him out based on the rumors. There was no evidence of him assaulting anyone or anything. So we were looking into his case, speaking with victims, and gathering evidence to send him back without causing an international issue. Before we could finish, though, he suddenly announced his return. He was covered in wounds and bruises and had a broken leg. He refused to tell us what happened and just left quietly. As he left of his own free will, nothing happened. We were asked to find and punish the culprit, but we couldn't find who did it. At the end of the day, it was chalked up to one of his victim's family or friends having assaulted him. King Eldrin explains, causing Lorik to start laughing. I can't believe he actually kept his word, he says before he stops laughing. But yes, that was me. He set his sights on my sister, so I took care of him. I didn't kill him this time, as he is a prince. So I beat him up badly and threatened to come back if he didn't leave. I told him I was hired by a recent victim of his and that if he spoke about me, I'd end him. But I didn't actually think he'd obey that threat. He seemed way too prideful to just go away quietly. Lorik explains. Do you just beat up anyone who messes with me? Leora asks, happy but with mixed feelings. No, not just you. Why do you think Maris's stalker ex suddenly disappeared? By the way, that woman is fucking amazing. Value her friendship. Lorik tells her, causing her to look at him for a few moments. Why do you think she's amazing? Leora asks, needing a moment. Do you remember when she lost 3,000 gold from her dorm? This happened last year. Anyway, she found out later that your mutual friend Nissa was the one who took it. Instead of reporting her to the guards or anything, she brought her back to her place alone and confronted her. Turns out, Nissa's father was abusive and threatened her if she didn't send him money. She didn't have the coin, so when she saw the bag at Maris's place, she took it. After that, she went to the guards and told them what was going on. She left out the part about her stealing the gold, though. Then, she went out of her way to send a few anonymous letters to the guards and Nisa's father. She pretended to be Nisa to her father and friends to the guards. She made them meet at a place where Nisa agreed to hand over some money. The guards busted the doors in on an abandoned building to Nisa's father and slave traders. Needless to say, they were all arrested. Afterward, Nissa tried to pay her back, but Maris refused. She also never told Nissa what she did and how she got her father arrested. Nissa just assumed the guards found him meeting with the slave traders. Lorik explains, "How the hell do you know more about my friends than me?" Leora asks in shock, causing Lorik to laugh. "We night eyes see all that happens under the night sky," Lorik says before sighing and lowering his head. "Never tell anyone I said that," he adds before drinking from his mug. As he sets the mug down, someone knocks on the door before entering.